Okay, greetings. I apologize if you came looking for Dragon's Dogma, but I've just been on this kick recently where I've been sort of bored down on my computer games and fired up, way more hyped about board games and tabletop games in general. And so we're going to play a little bit more Magic Realm. So we just finished up a game with the Druid just tearing it up. And so this is part 0 here. We're going to set up a new game. And what you see across the bottom is the Amazon Pilgrim, Swordsman, and Witch. Now, historically, I suck at the Pilgrim. Like I'm mediocre with most of these characters in terms of scoring in this quest game. So we're going to set up here part 1 or part 0 or whatever. We're going to set up, and then we're going to see what's what. So I think the first thing we do need to do is we do need to pick spells. So, uh, so let's grab a spell deck for our guy here, and he gets what? One spell, two spells, right? He gets two. No, does he get two or one? What's he get? One spell, one damn spell. Poor Pilgrim. So his options are. So remember, he's going to have white magic only. Now he can enchant. He has two type 1 chits, so he could enchant. So he could turn something and thus get different color. Staff Mistake doesn't suck. He effectively gets a summon. Now that's not a great summon. That M44 summon, medium armored, is going to mostly suck. But M4M, I mean, that star is no joke. Like that is a tremendous damage killer. Um, so so it's absolutely not the worst. It's a summon. It is treated like a summon. So under my variant rules, if something's on his sheet and he can get the spell off, he can actually cast that. So I might take that and go instead of what I usually do, which is the tremendous farming on Wish, Small Blessing. I mean, uh, Veil Walker doesn't suck. You have to enchant the tile first for that. Oops, I just screwed up the whatchamacall. I think we're going staff to snake. I think that's actually. We're going to flip that bad boy. We're going to make that big so maybe you can see it. I hope. And that is going to be our spell for the Pilgrim. So that was an easy choice. In that case, he literally flips those two, and so that's actually an easier gig a little bit. If he needs to fight, he's going to be hidden. Hopefully, cast his spell, and he's looking for tremendous monsters. This thing is not that good against small monsters. And he can only do medium damage right now. So with the staff. Um, right. So what he wants to find effectively, and he's allowed to use this regardless, even if the staff is not active. He needs to find a weapon. So that's sort of his gig is can I find a weapon? So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that spell, go get ourselves a weapon. Swordsman doesn't need spells, of course. The witch does need spells, and the witch has type 2s, type 5s, type 8s. Yes. So let's get her objects there. And she gets 3 of them. Um, So remember, she's gonna have gray or black. Those are her magics. Torchbearer is definitely a candidate. I don't know that Summon's a candidate. I mean, how about this? Summon is a candidate for all the special powers it brings. Like I always thought the type 2 spells were a little bit weak compared to some of the other color spells, and so this or the you know ritual types. So you can, if you roll a 5 or a 4 or a 3 on your summon, then all of a sudden you can fly or walk the woods that next day effectively. So those are going to be my two candidates there. Arguably, my candidates for um, black are going to be freaking absorb essence. Duh, that's an easy one. Broomstick. Uh, and those are really her best choices for black because she doesn't have a lot of like. Let's. I'm gonna move these here like this, and then I am going to. How the hell does this work? Go like this and this and this. So she just, if you notice right here, her, whereas the Witch King has a speed 2 black chit, which he can use to cast Drain Life and just kill everything. She could do that if she alerted every time. But that's going to be very fatiguing for her, and it's sometimes hard to anticipate when you're going to need it. So I usually don't go for a pew pew drain life killer build with her. I usually try the absorb build. And then here, I mean, Remedy has to be in the mix because if you do an absorb build, Remedy's nice. Guide Spider and Octopus is just generally useful because of it opens up 2 treasure sites for you. I wish Serpent Tongue was better. The problem with the serpents is simply that controlling serpents typically doesn't do you any good. Um, I mean, you could march those serpents into. Don't get me wrong. You can march those serpents, and controlling spells are difficult in Magic Realm because the day you control them, as often as not, you don't really get much use out of them. If you control all the serpents in the clearing and they're not fighting something else, then you need to drag them into the next clearing with you the next day and then cast again. So it is a very difficult play to do that. Now, having said that, you know, if you get like 3 of the serpents because of a good lucky set of tiles or whatever, that can be a pretty powerful little mini army. Nudge is great, by the way. Um, yeah, I mean, and yeah, deal with goblins is fine, and rumors is fine. Like these are fine spells. But she has 3 of them. So I think what we got to figure out is, and what does she have? She has 3 potential gray, 3 potential black. The problem with absorb essence is very simple. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. The problem with like summon and torchbearer is that it puts pressure on these gray chits, a lot of pressure on these gray chits. Um, and nudge is great. So, I mean, there's a couple easy widgets that I think we could do with her. And I'm sorry, I'm just staring at this, right? So you go absorb. Then as soon as you pick absorb, you have to decide, am I going to remedy or not? And if you don't remedy, then the answer is you're going for the big absorb. You're going for the tremendous flying dragon. You're going for the tremendous troll. Like you're looking for something that gives you, or you're looking for a flyer or bat. Bats are good because they can run from almost everything, right? And so that gives you sort of this, you're either looking to get permafly. The troll and the dragon are very resilient, and the dragon is like the best fighter in the game. Done. So you're looking for that sort of gig. Um, so if you do absorb, then you're like, well, do I take remedy? And remedy just gives you the ability to slum it before you do that. Right? Like, oh, okay, I'll take this suboptimal one in case one of the good ones shows up. um, and then you get one spell to play with, and that spell would be something like probably Torchbearer or Nudge. Um, Another option is just summon animal and go, well, I'm going to summon animal and I'm going to try it for, say, the utility, because it's not this super awesome combat spell, but it is great for the utility. Um, and if you roll well enough, like so, nudge and summon animal is a great combination since you can nudge one die down, which tends to give you like a -1 on that. So she could take nudge and summon animal, and that's a great way to say kill a bunch of goblins if you can get the serpent, axe goblins. That is. It's a good way to get the walk the woods or the bat, the flyer, and so thus do all that stuff. So I think but what I think we're gonna do is I think we're gonna go absorb. I'm gonna go remedy, and I'm gonna go torchbearer, and those are gonna be my three spells. And the idea is going to be absorb, avoid fighting if avoid fighting if it's not optimal. Like we're not gonna fight. We're gonna run. Now she is not hideously fast, but she has an L3, so that gets her out of a lot of shit. She's no swordsman, and then we're gonna look for one of the good summon absorbs. And if we get it, we get it. And if we don't, well, we can absorb. We're gonna flip, and I think we're gonna flip. Yeah, good enough, and done. So there you go. So there's our spells. So our spells are done. We have one last thing to set up before we're actually ready to start this game, and that is everyone's quests. So we're going to deal out 3 piles, or 4 piles, I should say. Three each, like that. Amazon is going to get Gold Source, Sudden Insight, and something I cannot see because I can't unselect it. Lost Pouch. Well, I'm dropping the Gold Source because that's sort of useless, right? For her. So she's going to discard. She'll take these 2. She's going to discard the source. She has to take this card in its monster lore. And I actually don't think those are terrible. So Lost Pouch is that she finds a pouch. Okay. She either rolls to see who it belongs to, or she just opens it and takes money. Done. So but she loses relationship with that pouch, with that group. So let's do Lost Pouch. Sudden Insight is simply a free locate, and that is super useful, right? And then monster lore is good for the Amazon, I think, especially because she only has a limited range of things she can fight, and so that allows her to pick out a hex, a clearing of monsters that she can fight, and allows her to fight them. So let's do the pouch. Let's roll. It's one, so it's the order. So the pouch is the order's pouch. She is neutral with the order. She could become friendly with the order if she brings them the pouch, or she just takes the cash, says screw it, and she's not. Oof, I mean, it looks closer than it is. She would have to go through the Lost Woods effectively, but it's not miles away either. So she could get. So I think she should at least consider it. Our second pile belongs to the Pilgrim. Remember, this is a staff to snake pilgrim, not a small blessing pilgrim. So I think all three of these are pretty good for us. We got Windfall. Windfall means we end our day at a dwelling. We get $5. Done. White Source. Can't beat that. And then Weapon Master. And Weapon Master is just where you go. You pay 5 gold and you get a fight chit. So the interesting thing about this fight chit is, if you look at the possibilities compared to what he already has, they're pretty comparable to what he has. I don't think we're going to take an L2. I don't think we need an L2 1 star. But an additional M3 or an additional H4. The T5 can't carry it anyway, so we might as well not take it. An additional chit is 1 additional chit to wound or 1 additional chit to fatigue. M3, H4, not terrible chits. 1 asterisk, not bad. So I think we're going to take all 3 of those because and we will actually commit to spending a day here, as opposed to moving on immediately. And we'll spend the day, we'll trade, and we'll hire, and we'll see if we can't catch one of these guys. We are allied with the order, so we can get a cheap dude. Now, that's still $8, even if it's as cheap as it can be. So we'll see. Oh, and we get to see where the Weapon Master is. We roll a random treasure clearing there, and it is Borderland 2. And so I'm going to write that down, BL2. And I'm going to put one of our markers on Borderland 2. And that is amazingly close. So I like that a lot for our first week here. The Swordsman gets Locate, Lair, Giant, and Rescue. I think we keep those. Locate, Lair. I mean, duh, it's Discover the Lair. Trinkets is if we get a Giant, we can trade him a small treasure. He gives us a large treasure, so that's interesting. And we get money. Or not money, a VP. And then rescue is choose 1 clearing containing a group of monsters. So as soon as we get monsters on the board, he has a choice whether he wants to go and put his rescue there or not. This allows him to specify monsters he can deal with to get the rescue. You can also just stealth grab them, so he could take a monster that he knows he can run from, for instance, and do that. So I think those are good draws. So far, the draws have been actually very, very, very fortuitous here for our heroes. And now excuse me, now it's the witch. So now we get Locate Vault. Okay, that's fine, but not great. Natives arrive just means she can put natives on the board. And company. So the company is a great one for her to deal with. And so I mean she'll keep that card. And Curse Breaker is intriguing because she can. I think we're gonna take these. It's not perfect. We're gonna play the natives arrive as soon as we possibly can. So first turn, just to cycle the card. So locate the vault is the dump there. And the reason I say it's the crappy one, it's the dumpy one, is because she can't get into the vault. She could if she was a tremendous creature, but by default she cannot get into the vault. So it's sort of lame. She has to locate this thing. She's not going to be able to also benefit from it, right? So that's why I sort of go, and that's a little bit lame. So okay, that's those are the quests for our guys. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to draw events for the board. We draw 3 tiles enchant, missing person, and enchanter. Ugh, those are terrible. Jeez, oh man. So how many tiles enchant? 2 tiles enchant. So it's not that exciting. And we're gonna actually draw a die we rarely draw. We're gonna just draw a d20 out of here. Well, I forgot how big I made these dice comparatively. Okay, and we're gonna roll the 2 tiles. So the first tile is gonna be the oak woods and the 8, the ledges. So the ledges and the oak woods. I mean, if that's not pretty much a nothing burger there, I don't know what is. Okay, so those are enchanted. They start the game enchanted. Uh, the chance of me needing this die again is tiny, but we'll keep it over there. The enchanter appears in the ruins too. And he is that's fine. He's a buddy there. He will come with you. And what does he do? He enchants 3 times. And then he goes away. $5, he'll enchant 3 tiles for $1. Well, $1 and a payment of $5 each time, and he will enchant a tile. I should probably drop that price. That's a lot of money. Okay. Final thing. Objects. Saved objects? Maybe? Missing persons bag. The order is random. So we get 4 tiles. We put them in 4 spots. That is a 7. High pass 1. So there is 1 missing persons tile. 4-4. So cliff 4. Mountains 5. Tavern 6. There you go. So if you go there, you can go there. You can spend a quest phase and possibly find the missing person. Otherwise, you just find a clue At the end of there, the person that finds a missing person gets 2 VP and $10 if you return to a garrison. Um, and I believe that the people that found clues get $1 to $6. I think we added that to encourage because no one would go effectively. Like it wasn't. Yeah, when you turn the quest in, anyone who investigated but found nothing still get a payment of 1d6 gold for their effort. So if you go find clues, you're going to get a little bit of gold anyway. Done. But I will say that is a lackluster event draw. But that's it. We are now ready to start our game. And I mean, we might do that. We might wait till this evening. We'll figure that out. So I will talk to y'all later. Thank you and have a good afternoon.